Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Monday edition of the Computer America Show. We hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. Ben is here. His video is back and live. He's alive and kicking. And we have an interesting show planned for you. In the second hour, we're going to have Computer America correspondent Michael Miller is going to be here with us. And he always has a fun thing. This is his first Monday schedule. He's going to be now on the last Monday of the month. But we have a first-hour guest tonight. A company called Etismo is going to be here. It's a visual discovery engine. This is going to be really interesting. So we have the company's CEO, Thomas Grandel, is here.
1 minute until showtime.
So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we get started here on a Monday edition of the Computer America program. Thirty seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I am your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome. It's Monday. Ben, did you have a nice weekend?
I did and I didn't. Oddly enough, it's still March, and I know spring is supposed to be here, but I spent a couple hours this weekend hauling wood up a mountain.
I heard that story, and I know who made you do it.
It was awful.
I know who made you do it, too.
Well,
Uh-huh.
but I guess the joy of having fire in your home kind of trumps it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is just pounds after pounds of wood up a mountain. Why do we not have drones doing this yet?
Yeah, and it would be nice also if we had a fireplace in there to
No, it's cool. You stack it up right in the middle of the basement, and then you light it on fire, and you open up a window for the updraft, and it works wonderfully. But, I'm just saying, work on a drone that delivers firewood, and a lot of people would thank you.
Now, are you only using the fireplace in the living room, or are you using the bedroom too?
I don't have a fireplace in the bedroom, you fancy folk. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, hopefully the flue was opened, and of course we would have known that by now. These are the trials and tribulations when you live in a place that gets colder. Down here in Florida, we don't.
It's not supposed to be colder though. It's so late in the year. What is going on? Like, it's still like 50, 40 degrees out every day.
Global warming. That's what they say.
And they no longer use the term global warming. It is now climate change.
Climate change. Well, do you think it's climate change? Could be. But it got pretty.
There was that one article out. Speaking of, this whole month is for science, and I guess it's a science-related topic, kind of meteorology. It got up to like 65 degrees in Antarctica a couple days ago. It was warmer in Antarctica than it was in North Carolina, where I am.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it got warm in here in Florida for a while. It actually got into the 90s. It was like summertime, but then it dropped. It rained, and then it went back down to the 70s. So the weather actually here has been quite nice. It's typical spring weather. So, well, anyhow, We're going to get started now. Anything else you want to talk about other than the weather that may be of interest?
Technically, you were talking about the weather. I was talking about climate. They're different.
Climate change. Yes, this is true. Well, okay. Well, climate is the weather.
Nope.
If you want to get technical.
It's not, though. If you want to get technical, weather is what happens day to day. Climate is what happens over a period of years. They're different.
I see. Okay. Well, I was not aware of that.
Okay, that's just your fun for science fact today.
It is, and
but other than hauling fire, being cold, eating food, no, it was a pretty relaxing weekend. How about yourself?
Yeah, You weren't hauling fire though. You were hauling wood, I think.
No, actually, I set the wood on fire just to get it started, and then I hauled it up the mountain. So, that was my form of a burning bush. Yes.
Okay. Well, no, my weekend was fine. Fairly uneventful, but we will nothing new to report. Okay, pretty much same old, same old. So
good.
That said, why don't we introduce our first hour guest, who is waiting patiently in the wings, and we'll get him introduced. In this first hour, we're going to unlock the full potential of your information with the Etismo Visual Discovery Engine. Now, the Etismo Discovery technology is a combination of intelligent search engine and interactive visual interface. In other words, it works on top of any document collection, refine existing indexes and keywords, thus providing more value to available information. Now, I still need a lot of explanation, and joining here to explain further is Etismo's CEO, Thomas Grandel. Thomas, welcome into the Computer America Show. How are you?
Thank you, and thanks for having me, and I'm fine. I hope you're fine too, despite the weather.
Now, by the way, if you have a comment or a question for our guest tonight, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, live, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room at computeramerica.com. On our homepage, just click the chat room /video button. You'll see the entry form asking you for a username. That's the name you've been known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the chat room. And sharing that same page is our live Computer America video stream. That's right. Not only can you listen to the Computer America show, you can also watch the show. You can, it starts up automatically. You don't have to do anything, and it's just there. So that's how you kind of communicate with it, how you interact with us. Thomas, why don't you, in your own words, tell our audience, what does Etismo actually do?
Well, we're building the future of search as we want to see it. We have a visual discovery engine that gives you over 100% better results than with conventional tools on certain types of data. I mean, the current search tools that are available for us, they are really, really good at finding or doing actually lookup searches when you know exactly what you want and how to formulate a query to find it. And we, on the other hand, we do something called discovery search, when you actually want to make up your mind as you go and kind of let your search stream evolve while you search to get to better results. So it's perfect when one result is not enough, and then when you need to find or get a big picture of a larger topic, in short.
All right. Well, I'm trying to understand. Or see, I mean, is this like when if I were to go to, let's say, Google and look for a picture, and I can submit a photograph or a picture, it would find.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe a use case would be a better way to kind of give people, like, is it for, like, looking for a type of car that you may want or something like that?
Well, for example, if you want to find yourself a new book to read, myself, I go to Amazon, and they have a lot of great books. But if I don't know the name of the author or the title of the book, myself, I'm usually going for the top 100 list or something like that, and then I just buy something. But I think I'm just doing it the easy way for myself and maybe missing out on something really excellent. Mm-hmm. So in our case, you might have a lot of things that influences your final hit to be. You might like an author, but he might not have written any new books that you haven't read, but you might like something similar. So you get a lot of keywords or associations around that author, and by manipulating these keywords, you can get different authors, different titles, different genres, and so forth until you find an interesting book. So it kind of breaks the information bubble and breaks your normal pattern of searching for specific things.
So it doesn't necessarily. It's not a. You're not necessarily using pictures. You're just using a different method of looking for something. The way you're searching sounds like it's more. How should I say, more
Dynamic.
Dynamic. Thank you. Yeah, more dynamic. It's not. I'm looking for X and it gives me Y. I'm looking for something similar, and it gives me things that are sort of that it thinks that it's associated to it.
Yeah, we have something called an intent radar. It works like a dart board. We have the bullseye in the middle, and then we have the inner ring and the outer ring. And you start, for now, like you start with any search engine, by entering a keyword or a search query. And the best hit is represented in the bullseye and the inner circle. And the outer circle gives you associations to the current topic. And if you like something that you see in the inner or outer circle, you just pull it closer or swipe it closer to the bullseye, and it immediately refreshes your results. So it's indeed very dynamic.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say that, I guess coming into the search engine game, you can't just be, send out your crawlers, use keywords, and, kind of give you the most relevant result because, I hate to say it, but Google and Bing and other ones that I can't recall off the top of my head, like they kind of have that tied up. But but your search engine though is different from that, and that's actually good to hear because most businesses should probably go in seeing a need in the market and then filling that need. So and you guys have stumped me. Like I can't think of a single thing that does. It's not looking to be too specific. It's just looking to be relevant, and I really haven't heard of something like that before.
Excellent. We us neither. We have really been looking hard for somebody doing something similar, but we haven't found it yet.
Well, maybe with Etismo you could find it. You see, you're searching for.
Yeah. We need some content in that area or around that topic before we can do that, though. But yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what is the difference between search and discovery? Why don't you kind of define that?
Search is when you already know what you're looking for, and you just need to find it, in short. Mm-hmm. And discovery, on the other hand, is something called exploratory searching, and it helps you understand what you're looking for. And in the best cases, to encounter something that you didn't even know you were looking for or existed. So discovery is a process, and search is something that you do, and it's disposable. You search for something, you find it, and you forget all about it. In our case, we make some kind of one kind of dynamic process of the whole searching.
It sounds to me like it's a little bit like serendipitous. In other words, you're making associations to things that you would never really have thought of doing in the first place. Which I guess is what serendipity really is. So it sounds to me that it's more how we would search, look for something. In other words, I'm looking for something, but I want to find something. It's really not associated to it, but it is associated, but it isn't associated. But yet it's kind of, there is a connection, and it's finding these different connections and may lead me in directions that I might not have initially thought of. Is that's what's going on?
Exactly. So there is always some uncertainty in the answers a search engine gives you, and we balance that with user relevance. We call it the exploration trade-off. So, for example, when you start a search, and let's do a general search, for example, for medicine. If you just enter one word, medicine, you might be looking for a certain drug, you might be looking for a doctor, for a pharmacy, for the science of medicine, the study of medicine, or for several medicine-related journals. And our system is like a human being that doesn't understand the question, so it actually tries to get more input from you. So what do you really mean? Do you want a doctor or a pharmacy, or are you looking for a journal? And by reacting to the questions of the system, it refines your search. So it minimizes the system uncertainty and at the same time increases the relevance of the hits for the user.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That makes any sense?
yeah, it makes perfect sense. It really does. And but one thing that a lot of search engines lately have been doing, they use metadata. They build up profiles on people, by making accounts and things like that, and then they try to like if Craig typed in the word lane into his search engine for Google, Google would have a different profile on him and serve up different results than if someone like me, if I put in the word lane, it would give me completely different results because they know what I've looked at in the past, what I've looked at, what would be most relevant to me. Does your search engine try to build up a profile, or do you purely do it through these questions that are asked through your searching?
We don't profile our users, and for us it's very important that you find the best information for you. So we're not even building on your previous searches. Every search starts from scratch. One of the things that I kind of dislike with current search engines that they trap us in an information bubble. They predict what they think we want to find based on some secret ranking algorithms, some artificial results paid by or paid visibility and search engine optimization. Then the popularity, as you mentioned, they assume that you want to find the same things as everybody else. And then also, as you said, location, culture, and previous searches influences your search. I was in Saudi Arabia searching for the same thing I searched for here in Finland, and I was amazed because the results were completely different. So there is some or a lot of truth in the profiling and location-based steering of your results.
Really. Are there any particular kinds of searches with that Etismo, better than the way conventional search engines work? Are there a particular kind? In other words, I mean, a search. If I'm looking for how to make a roast, a pot roast, I'm going to find it pretty much quickly. So so what kind of searches would Etismo be better at than conventional searches?
Well, when you don't know yourself everything about the topic you're searching from, for example, if you don't know the desired end result beforehand, you don't know exactly what kind of car you want to buy or what kind of book you want to buy, or exactly what kind of document describing whatever it is that you're searching for that you want. That's one thing. The other is when the outcome depends on several factors. If you, for argument's sake, want to, well, find a candidate for the next election, maybe you value certain things in the candidate differently than other things, and by swiping those things you like closer to the center and the things you don't like away from our intent radar, you get a list of candidates that give you the best match for your own profiling. Another scenario is maybe when it's hard to get the big picture with conventional search tools. I mean, if there are several dimensions to your topics, if you want to look at climate change that you talked about earlier in the show, you might want to go to IPCC, but if you're not happy with that, if you want some alternative views, you just have to find the different sources where those views are available, and with our system you can combine all this into one big picture. And of course, if you want to find really novel information that not many people have been searching for before, then our tool does the job for you.
So,
real quick, by the way, Thomas, I could listen to you talk all night. There's something about your cadence, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's your accent. It's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
So, so okay, that's a first. All right. Um, now, let me ask you this. Have you done any kind of market research? I mean, how big is the market you think for exploratory searches and information discovery? How big do you think it is?
Actually, we have done a lot of studying before we decided that we're sitting on a diamond in the rough. As you probably know, there are like 5.2 billion searches been done every day.
Yeah.
And according to some sources, up to 50% of these are exploratory and spread across individual queries and information sources. That might be a slight overstatement, but say 20 to 40% are exploratory. That's still around 2 billion searches daily. And actually, Microsoft did some market research for us. They they published a study called Struggling and Exploring, Disambiguating Long Search Sessions at a conference last year, and they state that the success rate for 40% of exploratory searches is 75%, and below that it just goes well to 50 for 36% of the exploratory searches. So it seems like people who are doing these kinds of searches, at worst, it's a coin toss away if you find your information or not. So there should be a large market for this,
So,
assuming that we can get the content and get the usability that is needed for today's world.
yeah. So, and it's no secret to anyone that most search engines are, driven by ads and things like that. And I am going to assume, you can correct me, that this is going to be somewhat ad related. But how are you going to deal with ads? Like, is it going to be off to the side and it's going to try to be relevant to you, and it'll be clearly marked, or like how, or even a more succinct question would be, how are you guys going to make money off of this?
Well, actually, I hope that we won't have ads. I'm not sure that that's a promise that I can keep, but the real estate, especially on mobile devices, is not that big. So ads would really clutter up the interface for us, especially on small screens like mobile phones. So we're hoping that we could have a kind of a new way of marketing it or rolling it out more like business to consumer, which would mean that the companies are paying us a little bit to enable their end customers to find stuff in their data better than they can do now. For example, newspapers, if they have a vast archive of news, they might want to enable our search engine to make their own subscribers find the content that they have been collecting and producing for years better accessible to them.
Right. Now, one of the things that, for example, like I had to, we keep bringing up Google, but it's a good one to compare.
It's normal.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things people want to know how they were able to so accurately determine. When I do a Google search, usually what I'm looking for is usually it's not the first. It's usually the first 3 or 4. It's going to be what I'm looking for. It is spooky.
And then Google kills you with kindness by giving you 1.8 million searches in 0.23 seconds.
Yeah. So
that's great.
It does that, and it does it so well. And of course, people will say, how does it do that? And of course, they talked about pigeon ranking, which is one of the using using pigeons. Of course, it's a joke, but because it's that secret sauce that evidently that they use. They really don't talk too much about that. I don't know if you're at that stage, but could you talk a little bit about how Etismo actually works, what you're using to do what it is that you do?
The basic search, the initial search that you do with our engine, it works a lot like any search engine. I mean, we don't have secret algorithms and stuff like that, but we give you the best estimate that the computer can give you to start with. And after that, Google stops, or any other search engine stops. You have to be satisfied with the results that you get, or if you don't, you just have to find some better quick keywords. And and that's actually a little bit stressing on your brain. No offense intended, but I mean, if you try to say the same thing in 10 different ways, at the end it starts feeling a little bit old if you're not finding the right answer immediately. So we try to give you the associations surrounding your initial topic, so that you can kind of make up your mind as you go, and make a process out of your searching. So actually, we're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to assist you, but we don't want it to intrude, if you know what I mean. We don't want artificial intelligence to tell you what you're looking for. We want it to suggest to you what you might be looking for, and you can take it from there. So we're not providing ready-made answers. We're providing suggestions, and the human mind combined with the computer leads to better results.
What kind of reaction are you getting with this? I mean, it's still not technically available yet, but are you getting some reactions from people that are using this? What kind of response are you getting?
It's been overly positive. The university where this technology was researched set out a press release in end of January this year, and I was swamped with contact requests and stuff like that, and I wasn't prepared at all. I thought this was kind of a scientific press release that would go more or less unnoticed in the commercial world, but we got over 800 contact requests in 3 days, and we weren't prepared for that, to put it mildly.
So that's a very good response, and now is it's not up and running yet, right? I mean, when you go to the website, it says it asks you for a request a demo. In other words, it is not working yet. Am I correct in understanding?
We have the scientific pilot that we have in our video on YouTube as well. That we have, but it contains copyrighted material, so we can't show it. We can put it out for everyone to use, but we can give you a demo, for example, using join.me or something like that, an online demo that we can do, and we're also working on a Wikipedia version for everyone to be able to use and try out.
Now, are you going to be, when you say Wikipedia version, I mean, is this something that's going to work in would work in conjunction with Wikipedia? I mean, the information that they have, they would add Etismo to the Wikipedia website?
Well, that's, of course, that would be wonderful if that would happen, but for now the plan is to utilize the data Wikipedia has and just showcase our search engine and visual interface on top of that data without being part of Wikipedia officially.
Okay. All right. So how long do you think before this actually goes live? What kind of time frame are you looking at?
We're looking at 4 to 6 weeks tops. We already have the back end in shape, and it lives in Amazon's cloud service, so we have the computing power. We're just not happy with the interface yet, so we need to do something or a lot actually about that. It looks kind of too technical and not appealing at the moment, or the pilot that we have.
You're not happy with the interface, so. But something like that can take you say months, but it could take months, or not weeks. It could take months or even years to.
Well, I mean, people really don't get the user interface hammered out until they have a public testing, beta testing. They get some feedback. Like, have you guys been looking for feedback on your?
We have, and in the scientific. Well, among scientists, the interface is all right. Among other people, it looks a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to simplify it a little bit, and now it's a little bit. It looks technical, and we want it to be more approachable. So we're not going to do a major rewrite. We're just going to pimp it up a little bit.
Now,
I guess that's when you get the smart people who make the technology and make the design, but then you get the artists who come in, and they're the ones who kind of make it user-friendly, soft, and accessible.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. Now, I know you're working on the interface. Do you need the underlying data to be in a specific format for this? for it to work?
Not really. We like text, and we like a lot of text. There is two things that we need, and the third that is nice but not necessary. The first one is that we need some kind of title or subject for a document to be able to link to it and to be able to show results that people can decide at a glance that this is the thing that I'm looking for. Then we need the full text part of the document to run our magic on. And then if there are man-made keywords, we use those as well, because they are, well, hopefully 100% accurate. Probably not, but I mean, the accuracy of those is a little bit higher than those that are mined or extracted with the machine. And on that data, we run a lot of NLP, natural language processing, and self-learning algorithms to decide what keywords are interested for the user, and we build a full-text index, and that's that. So basically, it doesn't require the data to be in any specific format, and you don't have to run complicated operations on your data to prepare it for using it, to prepare it to use with our engine. You just kind of feed it into the pipeline and wait for a while, and our indexes are up and running.
All right.
It's complete. Yeah, sorry.
I know. All right. Well, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a little commercial break, and then we'll continue on with this. Ben and I are talking to Thomas Grandel. He is the CEO of Etismo, a different type of search and discovery engine, and we'll be back with them. Hey, Ben, we got a brand new News Tips Bulletin review from Marty Winston.
I can't wait.
Yeah. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, the Boost Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Listening? This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time the Umatello. We're cautious about VoIP, having seen phone services that sacrifice call quality for price or international call savings. Analog landline call quality is excellent because the telco IP network is not the public internet. When we tried bundled cable VoIP, also a closed IP network, it also had good quality and a nicely complete feature package. We first encountered Uma several years ago when we quietly sampled their call quality at the time, and yes, it sounded like VoIP. Not as bad as the magical products, but recognizably less than top tier, in part because it has to use the public internet. A bit over a year ago, they worked to exorcise demons from their system and improve call quality, so after grilling a product manager at CES, we thought it fair to give them another shot. They sent their Tello VoIP interface with Ethernet in and analog phone out. Our very first tests had artifacts in the audio, sounded like frame drops. But after a call to their support number and some bandwidth and stability tweaks on their end, the quality turned excellent. With the Uma Tello, you buy the product, then pay only taxes and fees, meaning we have the service including unlimited US and Canada calling for less than $4 a month. Bottom line, once you own an Uma Tello, their service can offer really nice call quality and a good package of extras for less money than your kid's allowance. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour. That was Marty Winston with a News Tip Bulletin Review.
Uma.
It's weird that he talks about Uma because I'm sitting here staring at two Umas right now.
And they're blue.
They're friendly little blue Umas. So
Yeah, exactly. I love the Uma. I've been using that for over 2 years, and I've seen the transition of the product over the years, and it really is an amazing device. You can do so many more things with the Uma than you can with a traditional landline telephone. And again, as you heard, you just pay taxes like $4 a month is what you're paying for it, and you're in. So it's a great system.
Yep. We like voice over IP. We just, not for like on the air kind of stuff, but for everyday use, voice over IP is really, really cool.
Yes,
So awesome. But now in this first hour, we're still talking to Thomas Grandel. He is the CEO of Etismo, and it's a different type of search engine. And we've been kind of going about what do you use it for, how does it work, that kind of thing. And I think it'd be helpful, because I think I have a loose picture in my mind. But let's say someone who's never used it before, what's the steps? Step one, you set up your computer, you pull up either an app or a website for Etismo, and then you type something in, get asked questions. Like, walk us through actually using the search engine.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, for now you start with any search engine. You type in something and you press a button, and when you have done that, you get the result list on the right hand of the screen, and on the left hand of the screen, if you're using a computer, you get our intent radar that works like a dartboard. So you have the bullseye in the middle, and you have the outer and inner circle, whereas the inner circle contains the keywords related or associated with your current keyword or search that you initially performed, and the outer ring is giving you associations or directions where you might want to direct your search if your initial query wasn't perfect. So what you do is you study the keywords, you study the hit list, and depending on how happy you are with the initial results, you start moving the keywords either towards the bullseye if you really like them, or away from the bullseye if you like them a little bit less, or even away from the radar if you don't like them at all. And every time you move a keyword, you change the way the system interprets your search intent. So you are actually, maybe without even realizing it, you give feedback to the machine that I like that word, I didn't like that word as much. And every time you do so, we run the search in the background again, and we update both the result list and the intent radar, the dartboard, to reflect what you have been doing with the keywords.
So like this intent radar, like that's actually pretty interesting. So it's actually like a graphical representation of a search engine, and I'm sure like when you move things away, it ranks that keyword lower, and when you move stuff closer, it ranks it higher. Like that's, I guess, where your algorithms are doing a lot behind the scenes. And for and for most people who are just using it, it's just nope, not even close, or yeah, come on in closer. You're pretty close. Like it's a very simple visual thing, but it's very complicated behind the scenes.
Exactly. And as they say in TV shop, that's not all. The outer rim contains clusters of keywords that are colored differently. So if you get a cluster of red dots or red keywords, those are grouped together or the machine thinks that these things are related. So for every keyword you have in the inner circle representing something in your current search, there is a cluster of keywords that can take that search in a different direction. For example, if you're looking for medicine, it could be going, the red dot could be the different doctors in your neighborhood. Well, a cluster of blue dots could be pharmacies in your neighborhood. Science of medicine could be represented by yellow dots and so forth. So it actually gives you kind of, or it communicates to you where the most information lies, and then in which direction you could go to find better and more information and get a bigger picture of the topic that you're searching.
Like, I can totally see this working with a mouse and keyboard and that kind of deal, but I mean, it sounds almost natural to be using this on some sort of touchscreen on a tablet or a smartphone.
Yeah.
Is that the goal, to make this, you know, a really nice mobile search engine?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The ideal would be that that we would use touchscreen and no keyboard whatsoever. You could, for example, dictate your first keyword or use a picture as a starting point, or any text or document that you find. You could just throw it at the system and say, find something around this picture or around this document. The challenges at this moment is that the mobile screens are still a little bit small for both the radar and the result list, so we're balancing those as we speak.
Let me add, now, does you plan to have Etismo support? We're talking right now about computers, but what about mobile devices?
Yeah, you just kind of hit that where, you know, ideally it would be mostly used on computers and tablets. So, and I can see how that would work. That's very cool.
But maybe on a smartphone too. I mean, you know, the screen is small.
That's the plan. That's done.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully you'll support all the popular ones out there, like, you know, was it Android and Apple? You know.
Yeah, for now it works in any browser using HTML5, but we're planning to make real applications for the most popular mobile phones as well.
Now again, you said you had a demo available. Can you, we kind of glossed over that a little bit. So what does the demo actually show you?
The current scientific pilot that we have, it has around 60 million documents behind it. Mostly from Thomson Reuters, but also the complete digital libraries from Springer, then an organization called ACM. I don't know if you're Association of Computer Machinery, I think,
yes.
And IEEE. So that's around 60 million documents, all scientific publications, and we've been using that to test our system with researchers and doctoral students to see if they can better find information regarding their own area of interest or for their own area of interest. And we're happy to say that we did a half-hour test where they were given a task to find information for an academic paper, 45 pages. And it was kind of pre-rigged. We had experts going through what kind of data you should find and include in your report on this topic to be able to be on the pulse of the current developments. So we used a group of people that one of them used regular text-based search and the other one used our system. And in the beginning, it's easy for anyone to type in a few keywords and see what happens. But after 3 minutes already, if you don't find the results you're looking for, it's getting harder and harder to come up with new keywords or new queries to describe what you're looking for. So we were actually 100% better, or over 100% better in the end compared to text-based search on finding novel information, things that are not popularity ranked and things that are not shown to everyone with conventional search engines.
So the demo is actually a live demo then. It's not a video that you're watching. The demo is actually a live demo, albeit it's one that's strictly, you know, very narrow in its scope.
Yeah.
It's still a live demo. when Etismo goes live, I assume you're going to be all your information is going to be for anyone on any topic. Is that correct?
Well, that would be the ideal situation, but for having any topic and every topic, we would need to have the same content as Google has, and we would need a few paper mills, old paper mills to fill with machines to do that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to well make different versions for different topics to begin with and see where that leads us.
What topics are you going to initially come out with?
Actually, we were working a lot with newspapers, so news archives. We're also working with libraries. That's fairly close to news archives, and then we're working with people search, but not in an NSA way, but how to find suitable people for recruiting actually. So if you have a database of well several tens of thousands of people that are looking for work, normally you don't have anything else to work with than full text search, and depending on what people have been writing in their CVs and cover letters, you find what you find. But our system is able to give you associations and clusters around certain keywords, even though those keywords might not be used in all the applications. So it gives you a broader base and a better collection of people to select from, actually. So those are probably the things that we're going to do first.
So what are the plans? I mean, I realize you're obviously making plans for the future, even though it's coming out. I mean, where do you want to see Etismo go? I mean, what will be next after you release?
We're going to do something that we called fluid searching, which means that it should be context and location aware and still device independent, a little bit like Apple is doing now. If you start on one device, you can seamlessly continue on the next one and so forth. So we want search to be in your pocket all the time. What we also would like to do is to enhance the input that we can give to the machine. At the moment it's text, but we're going to move into speech and pictures. And then we're also going to add something that we call search streams, which means that you can actually search for something for a long while and then save your search as a project that you can continue with later, and you can share it and so forth, and even branch it if you want to. So you can move backwards and forward in your search stream and make different searches from that one good search that you found.
Okay. If anything, that kind of exemplifies the difference between Google and Etismo. It's like honestly, if I don't figure out what I'm searching for on Google within, I'd give myself a good 3 minutes. Then I just give up. I'm like, done, whatever. Didn't need to be found anyways. But it's kind of cool that you can actually, save projects on what you're looking for. And honestly, your first example of finding books, like you can make that a continuous search. Like just because you find one book and you find one book that you go out and buy and read, if you saved it, you can go out and find more relevant books, like continuously. If you like that one, you can go back to it, pick up where you left off, and find another one. That's a really cool use case.
Yeah. Well,
and we are also planning on having something that we call a search watchdog, which means that if you're really happy with the results of one search, you can save it and you can ask the machine to give you new information on that topic whenever it becomes available. So you don't have to research; you just have to
that's nice.
sit and wait until new information appears.
Yeah, that's actually that would be a very nice feature. Thomas, we're pretty much out of time. I think this is very interesting, and I look forward to seeing Etismo becoming a reality. And
if you go through your website, it looks like you guys have a lot of big releases coming up in this quarter, actually.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to the Etismo website. Again, it's etsimo.com, or you can just go to computeramerica.com, click on our show notes page, and the first hour you'll see Etismo, and we have the link there to the website right there for you, and that stays up for all time. You'll see it's today's show of March the 30th. So, Thomas, thanks again for being with us here. It was a pleasure, and we wish you the best of luck with this.
Thank you, guys, and have a good night.
And you too. You take care.
You too.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. There he goes. Again, it's Etismo, and you can check it out for yourself at the Etismo website. Again, or at our show notes page at computeramerica.com. Okay, we got computer and technology news. Well, actually, in the second hour, we actually have Michael Miller coming up.
See, you say that, but for anyone who's wondering behind the scenes here at Computer America, we use a calendar system, for the questions. He's not showing up. Sure, laugh at my pain, but I have no idea what to talk about Michael about. He's such a hard person to interview. He's really not. He has lots of opinions, but still.
He's there.
Why is he here?
Mike is there. You don't see. If you look at the calendar, 3:30th, you see Etismo, and then 11 p.m. is Michael Miller. You don't see him on the calendar?
Nope.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Don't worry about it. We'll copy and paste a few things. We'll move it around. But yeah, we're looking forward to having him on.
Yeah, he's going to be joining us in the second hour. Normally, Mike's with us for both hours, but I said we had Etismo booked for the first hour, so we decided to have him.
Michael's a very accommodating man, a lovely man. So he let Etismo come on and tell us about their product. So, but for the second hour, we're going to try to cram it into an hour, but we'll do our best.
Yes, exactly. Well, in the meantime, we have a few minutes. Do you want to do a little computer and technology news stories? We have about 10 minutes.
I wish I knew Michael was coming on because I actually gathered about 20 news stories to talk. So 10 minutes, 20 news stories. Let's do it quick.
All right, let's do it quick. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. Download it. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com. This first story from Maximum PC, the Samsung Galaxy 6 or 6 Edge, S6 Edge is pretty much here, and they're saying if you buy one, you're going to get a 1-year Netflix subscription. Wow. Let's see, according to Paul Lilly, it doesn't appear that Samsung needs much help selling Android fans on its recently released Galaxy X6 or S6 Edge smartphones, but just in case you're on the fence, the Samsung is hoping a little nudge from your T-Mobile will help. That nudge comes in the form of a 1-year Netflix subscription at no additional cost when you purchase the Galaxy S6 or S6 Edge from T-Mobile. The deal runs from now until the 12th of April and is open to both new and existing Netflix customers. Once you purchase the qualifying handset, just head over to a Samsung sign-up page and follow the instructions. You'll have to have the device in hand in order to complete the process. Now, wait a ticket. At this point, if you're thinking, what good is this deal when the qualifying devices aren't even available through T-Mobile? Good question, and here's your answer. Pre-orders count. You can place your pre-order for either handset today, and they'll be in stores by April the 10th. So, as long as you purchase the Galaxy S6 or S6 Edge by the 12th of April, you'll have until the 21st of May to sign up at the link page, or until June 20th to redeem the code. Here's two things to keep in mind, though. One, this is for the Netflix plan that allows you to have up to 2 streams simultaneously. And two, the offer is good for the first 92,000 submissions. So you better hurry if you want one. There it is.
Very cool. So it's weird that Netflix is doing these huge promotions, and we actually have another story by them. I kind of want to get in here, if I can just find it. The general gist of the whole thing is that Netflix wants to uh, go Netflix global, like no longer Netflix Canada, Netflix America, Netflix UK. If you didn't know, every iteration of Netflix has a different set of what do you call it? They have a different set of licenses for their content.
Mhm.
So, like, you can get things in Canada that you can't get in America, and you have things in America you can't get in the UK. You have things in the UK you can't get in Australia. So, Netflix, though, they want to strike a bunch of deals and try to get their global service off the ground,
Oh.
which would be no longer would you be kind of geofenced from geofence from certain content just because you're in America or just because you're in Europe. They want you to be able to see any content around the world no matter what. And right now people have been getting around this by using VPNs and going through and kind of spoofing it to make it look like they're in those places.
Mhm.
But Netflix says, hey, we're here to combat piracy. One of the biggest reasons that people pirate is because it's not available easily and cheaply in their area. So they turn to piracy because it's available instantly for free, and very, very quickly. And Netflix says, hey, wherever we are, piracy takes a nosedive on whatever content that we are bringing, because they have a way to get it cheaply, quickly, and easily. So this is where they're trying to do. They're trying to push this theory.
Yeah.
And they have a quote here from the CEO of Netflix, Reed Hastings. He says that the VPN thing is a small little asterisk compared to piracy. Piracy is really the problem around the world. The solution is for Netflix to get global and have its content be the same all around the world, so there's no incentive to use a VPN. Then we can work on more important part, which is piracy. The key thing about piracy is that some fraction of it is because users couldn't get the content. The part we can fix, that part we can fix. Some part of piracy, however, is just because they don't want to pay. That's a harder part. As an industry, we need to fix global content. So clearly, they're trying to get Netflix global off the ground, and I just kind of wanted your take on it. What do you think?
I think that I think you said using a VPN, which basically you're hiding your identity, and piracy.
Though in this case, they're not just hiding their identity; they're hiding their location, which is the big thing.
And Netflix stance on that is that they is what?
Well, they really don't like that people have to use a VPN just to get content that they don't have access to. They would rather you just have the content up front, rather than having to make deals in the US, make deals in Canada, make deals in Mexico, make deals in UK. They want all the content up front. Right now, the way that they're getting around it, and Netflix knows this is going on, is by using a VPN to spoof and say, if I want to get Netflix in Canada, I just go on a VPN, connect to a server in Canada, and then go to Netflix.com, and bam, I am now viewing Canadian Netflix. Like, they know this is a problem and it's going on, and they want to fix it.
All right, but the point, what I'm still not quite following is, so I'm using Canadian Netflix even though I'm in Mexico, and the advantage to doing that is what?
Because in Mexico, you don't have the same access to content. Maybe it's movie deals, maybe it's television shows.
Okay.
There's a difference in content between all of these regions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess the bottom line is that this is always gonna go on. There's not too much they can do about it.
Well, that's the point of the article. We're talking about doing something about it, and that doing something, which I wanted your take on, was, what do you think about a global Netflix?
I like it. I think a global Netflix would solve that problem, because then basically no matter where you are, you get it. But that one that opened up a can of worms unto itself. I mean, there might be some things that well, then no, I guess not, because you're not watching sporting events on Netflix. They're primarily movies, and so I think given the global nature of the internet and what it is, I think having a global service really makes better sense rather than segmenting, North America from South America and from Mexico. I think just having a global network, a Netflix would probably it would make things a lot easier and at the same time get rid of all these problems that they're having.
I know it doesn't seem like that big of a problem, but that's because we're in America. America has a lot of great content, and a lot of the content that we hear about is from America and for Americans. But if you live in Canada, the UK, Australia, Japan, what have you, a lot of it is blocked. A lot of it is blocked.
Yeah.
And and they're trying to fix that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're pretty much over the hour here, but let me just quickly tell you that our contests are up in full swing. A lot of you are entering it, and we'd like to see more. Obviously, just go to our contest page at computeramerica.com. We have our Logitech contest, which is in full swing. We give away 3 great prizes from Logitech, and also we have our show reminder winner of the week. I realize it's Monday, but you didn't. If you were not subscribed, you missed out getting our weekly email newsletter, because that tells you who's going to be on the show for the entire week, and we certainly recommend you do that. It's all free. There's no obligation whatsoever. It's all private. We give your contact info out to no one. From that list of subscriber names, every Friday we draw a winning name for a really nice prize from Logitech. We give away the Logitech T650 glass touchpad valued at $80. And it could be you winning it this Friday. So head over to computeramerica.com, enter in all of our contests. You'll have a lot of fun doing so, and you might win something really nice. Michael Miller, author of over 150 books, is joining us in the second hour of Computer America. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello, welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we...
Oh, that was your phone. I thought it was like a shoe or something. Okay.
Yeah, that's my Get Smart phone. It looks like the shoe. You're too young to remember Get Smart, aren't you?
I think they had a remake of it with kids.
Yeah, right, exactly. But he would take his shoe off, and he had this. This is long before we had cell phones, and anyhow, we're trying to get a hold of Mike Miller, and he should have been here with us for now. So we might be. Let's see. Mike, are you there? Oh, well, we're waiting for you in the room. We don't see you. So.
Did you send him an invite?
Yeah. All right. We'll see you here momentarily. All right. So he evidently copied and pasted the which happens from time to time, the wrong link URL. So that's the thing about Hangouts. You can go in the wrong room.
You say copy and paste, but our last one, Dickie Bartolo, he tried clicking on it and it worked just fine. So I don't know why you're telling people to.
I think I'm going to
stop. Paste.
I'm going to tell them to stop copying and pasting, because obviously it does cause a problem. But the thing about Hangouts is you can go into a room. It'll take you to a room and there's no one in there, rather than saying that oh, you're in the wrong room. Anyway, Mike is here with us. Hey, Mike. There he is. All right, so let me introduce you. Mike Miller is one of our Computer America regular correspondents. He's a proven and successful nonfiction writer on a variety of technical, business, and lifestyle-related topics. He's written more than 150 books in the last 2 decades that have collectively sold more than 1 million copies. He's written books like YouTube for Business and Facebook for Grown-Ups. He's got a reputation for being able to explain difficult concepts to everyday readers in easy-to-understand language. Mike, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hello, gentlemen. I am doing fine. Behind-the-scenes technical solving thing, the link you sent me was completely different from the URL that was actually typed into the email.
That's bizarre. I don't know.
I click on the link and it was completely different, possibly a previous month or whatnot, from the actual URL that's written out. So I copied the actual URL and pasted that, and gee whiz, it works. But clicking on it did not.
See, Ben, you see, you clicked on it, it didn't work, and then when you put it in the copy and pasted, it did work. So what?
You're looking at me like I can solve Google's technical issues. Google's a big boy. It's been on its own for a while now. It should have this kind of stuff figured out.
Yeah.
Obviously, whatever the link was on the URL was completely different, and the funny thing is, it took me to a different Google chat room. I mean, so it obviously was a Google Hangout link. So I'm sitting there going, well, where are you guys? I'm here in this Hangout, hanging out by myself. Yeah. Which I'm not sure that's really hanging out if you're by yourself. I don't know. But so I was just going, where are you guys?
Yeah, I figured that at this point something. See, that's the thing about Hangouts. You can go into the wrong room and it doesn't tell you you're in the wrong room. It just lets you sit there all by yourself.
Yeah, and when I was having a good conversation with myself, I'm fairly intelligent and enjoy talking to myself and listening to myself. So that was fine, but I'm not sure that's really a bona fide video chat if it's with yourself.
Yes, you're probably right. Well, anyway, we just finished with our first hour guest, and I always ask Mike, some things you'd like to talk about. And one of the news stories was about the Samsung Galaxy 6, and I understand also that you have a book coming out with that. Now the Galaxy 6, they also have this Edge version too, the Samsung Galaxy 6, and it's the S6 or the S6 Edge. Now is this the Galaxy 6 and the S6 are actually two different devices, are they not?
Well, no, the Galaxy 6, the S6, that's the same, but it's the Edge that's the different one.
Okay.
The Edge costs about $100 more, and it has an edge. Essentially, the screen kind of curves or angles down on the left and right side, and not much. I mean, not even a half inch, I don't think.
Right.
And they use the Edge for certain things, like at night it will display in text the time, so you can leave your phone by your nightside and kind of look over and see on the edge that it's 1:36.
That's nice.
It also will color code your favorite contacts. So some Bob might be red and so might be yellow and so might be blue. So when you get a text or a phone call coming in, you can just look at the edge and see by the color who it is who's coming in. And you pay $100 for those things, basically. I'm not sure it does a whole lot more than that. Again, the thing doesn't ship for about a week. Both the units do. So, but I've been reading the manuals and stuff in advance, and that's about all that the Edge does. It's just not big enough to do much more than that.
Well, I thought they would have. I thought it was like the iPhone. You have little buttons on the side, and I thought they would put little plus, a plus to increase the volume, and a negative to decrease the volume, and a mute switch. They would put that on the side as buttons, virtual buttons.
Are you kidding me? If there is a sidebar, you have to have like some kind of slider bar, not a button.
Yeah, you're right, and it's got the physical buttons for those things on the side, as we're used to. But so it's unusual. It's a little bit different because Samsung does a Galaxy. Is it the Galaxy Note that they do an Edge version also? That came out first about 6 months or so ago, and on that unit, the Edge is only on one side, and it's thicker, it's wider, it's taller, so it does have more functionality. On this one, again, it's so thin on either side, it doesn't have much functionality. Now, what I'm curious about is how it affects the holding of the phone. Because if you're like me, I mean, you do a lot of stuff with one hand, right? And with the current S5, I have an issue of my thumb or my fingers will kind of overlap the back up into the front, so I'll inadvertently touch the screen. And this is just with a normal screen. Well, with the Edge screen, I'm just curious as to whether that's going to be more of a factor, because it's going to be a whole lot easier to just grab that edge as opposed to the metal edge of the phone itself.
Yeah. Do you think? You think that it has less functionality because it's just physically too small?
Yeah, I think that's purely it. That there's only so much you can do in the space, and all that's fine. I mean, it does add some functionality. The question I have is it worth $100?
Well,
Um, you
I,
know,
like,
I don't know.
I like the idea that when if you there's no stand for it, right? Or is there a docking station for the stand, or you just put it on the thing?
No, you just lay it wherever you want to lay it. Put it in your pocket, whatever.
Then it makes sense. If you can put it down, you can
But
see the
it doesn't. It doesn't though. Like it only makes sense if the stars align and your bed and your head resting on your bed is the exact same height as your nightstand and your phone laying on its side. Otherwise, like someone like me, I can actually look down at my nightstand. It's not going to make a difference either way.
Well, my nightstand is actually at eye level when I'm lying down. So I guess it all depends on the nightstand.
Yeah, on my case, I'm basically asleep, so it doesn't matter where my nightstand is. I don't know what you guys are doing during the middle of the night. I'm sleeping.
We're looking at our phones.
Oh no, I'm getting a text. It's 2 o'clock. Who is it? It's Blue. It must be Aunt Edna. Quick,
That's right. You can tell
call
by
the Mounties.
But are there even any cases out for this thing yet? Because
There will be. Obviously. Okay. I mean, it's a big market for these things. I don't know. Well, I don't know how they're going to do it. My big concern is, I've got to write a book about this puppy, and I've got to take screenshots. And you take screenshots by pressing the 2 buttons together, and if you're lucky, you don't shut the phone off by mistake. What I'm curious is can I take screenshots of the edge?
Oh yeah.
Or conversely, screenshots without the edge. I just have no idea how the screenshots are going to work on this thing.
Well, maybe you can use your iPhone to take a picture of the edge. That would work.
Yeah. Well, I will, as soon as I get this puppy in my hands, I will start writing a book called My Galaxy S6 for Seniors. So the edge thing also factors into that. If I'm writing a book for older users, how likely are they to pop another $100 for something they probably can't see without their reading glasses? I'm still not sure how much coverage I'm going to give to the edge part. Well, even if I give it full coverage, it's not going to be that much because it doesn't do that much.
If you have limited eyesight, though, the fact that you can still perceive color, so he can see, oh, it's red, so he'll know who it is.
Yeah, that part of it would be, as far as reading that little teeny tiny text clock along the side, that may be a little difficult for me.
Have you seen the text clock?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. Some reviewers have got some early units. Yeah.
Is it digital? Is it digital or what? Or is it?
No, it's like in text. It's like Saturday, May 6th, 12:30 a.m. So it's kind of a text read out across. Yeah.
I think it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that it's cool. Where I question is whether it's $100 worth of cool. It kind of feels to me like a $30 worth of cool, but I'm a cheap SOB anyway, so who knows?
But I think we glazed over something there, glossed, glazed, what have you.
We're talking donuts now?
Yes.
We should be. No, but this phone, you said you were writing a book for seniors.
Yes.
So I'm assuming your next book is The Large Hadron Collider and Your Toddler, What to Expect. Like, why are you trying to, why does this particular phone need a senior-friendly version?
Well, there's a sub-segment now of the computer book or the technical book market targeted at senior users, and there's several things different about the books. I mean, one, we take into account the things that seniors. I mean, it's not just books about phones. I've written Facebook for seniors. I've written my Windows 8 computer for seniors, and so we take into account how different types of users use the product.
Wait, maybe you should define what you mean by a senior.
Well, these days I think that's anyone in 12th grade and above. No, these books now are actually endorsed by the AARP, and as far as they're concerned, I think it's 50 and above. In fact, I find it interesting in doing these books. The AARP does not want us to use the word seniors, even though that's the word in the title. Because they just don't position themselves or their members quite that way. I mean, and think about it, if they're going after people aged 50 or so and above, well, is that a senior? Is it not a senior? Certainly it's not a retired person anymore at that age group. So it's more, older users or people, in a certain age group is how you position it. But the other thing we do in the books is normally the My series from Q, like there's going to be a normal My Galaxy Samsung 6 book. It's kind of a small trim size book. Well, the books for seniors, we go to a larger trim size, and that lets us use larger pictures and larger text inside. So it's a little bit more readable for people, too.
What size is the edge on those books? I mean, can you see any?
No, we can't put a physical edge on the book, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, good point, though, because you could hear it in Craig's voice there for a second. He's like, what do you mean, seniors? And then I just kind of want to look at him and say, what did you mean, seniors? Like, it's you say it's over 50. Craig took offense to
No, I didn't take offense. I just wanted to know what he meant by a senior.
Well, it's a funny thing. I write these books, and they're now endorsed by the American Association for Retired People, and I am not a member of the American Association of Retired People because I ain't retired. I will probably never retire. I'm an author. You can't retire. You're paying bills till you die, and they won't give me a free membership either. I'm writing your books for you. Give me a free membership, you cheap SOBs. But they didn't, and we're writing the books anyway, and they like them, and they're on their website, so it gets a lot more publicity and promotion. It's a good thing, actually. So.
But they wouldn't give you a free membership.
Yeah, isn't that something? I don't know.
Membership. It's only what, $10 a year, some crazy thing.
Yeah, it's not much. It's a little bit more, like 20, 30, something like that. It's not too bad. But,
well, okay.
But like I said, I'm not retired, so I've always rejected the appeals in the mail. But for all you people who are of that age and you get them in the mail, you should probably spend the money on it and then go out and buy my book because you'll get a discount on it through the AARP. So.
Okay. So your book is coming. You can't bring the book out until after you get the Galaxy.
Yeah, not until I actually write the thing. It's kind of the publishing industry is very odd that way. You have to write it first and then it comes out. We tried it the other way, but it's the content-free paradigm doesn't really play that well. Yeah. But yeah, that's the next book on my agenda. I'm actually in the middle of writing now a new edition of my Chromebook book. Is that right? My Google Chromebook book. The third edition of that book we're working on right now. So as soon as I get that one wrapped up, I should get my Galaxy in the mail, and we'll be working on the other book.
You would think that the manufacturers of these products would give you a pre-release version so you can get your book out in time when they release it.
It depends on the company and the relationship that the publisher has with the company and that sort of thing. Certainly in the computer business, I have a good relationship. My publisher has a good relationship with Microsoft, and we've always been very, very good at getting pre-release stuff from them. Other companies in the tech industry, Google, they don't work with publishers and writers the same way that Microsoft does, and so we've always had an issue dealing with Google. Yet it really depends on the company. Some of them are great to work with, some of them aren't, and you play by whatever rules you have in that case. In the case of the phone guys, I'm not sure there's much they could have done. I mean, a few of the people of the tech press have gotten review units this week. So they're getting them about a week early. That's not a big deal, really, getting something a week early. So,
all right.
And in the case of hardware like this, they really can't get it to you until they make it. So, whereas with software, you can get the pre-release stuff. They really don't have pre-release hardware.
Right.
I don't know what that would be like,
No, exactly. Well, speaking of Microsoft, it begs the question again. It's been a while since we spoke, and Windows 10, of course, continuously in the news, and they continue to have updates, and it's like a one giant love fest now because with Windows 8 when everybody hated them, and now it looks like they're doing everything right when the set.
Hate is such a strong word. They were irked. But
they despised them. They hated them. They loathed them. They loathed them. They wanted to burn them at the proverbial stake. With a couple of exceptions, I do get a kick reading some of the tech blogs and the message forums and stuff because you'll find one guy on any given message forum who really liked Windows 8. And thinks that the rest of the world, the other billion or so people out there, are just stupid for not appreciating all the changes that Microsoft made in Windows 8 and how awful Microsoft is for backtracking on these wonderful changes that a billion people loathed, of course. And it's just like, and everybody else is just stupid for not getting it. It's like, no, everybody else just didn't want it, do your market research here. But yeah, Windows 10 is fixing just about everything that everybody hated about Windows 8 and Windows 8.1, and going beyond that. I mean, one thing that I've started to notice as we go through the different builds of the product, and they kind of work on the fit and the finish of the thing, is the look and feel of it is really changing a lot. It's going more to this flat design sort of thing, where you don't have drop shadows and you don't have things that are supposed to look realistic. They just look like flat little icons.
So
and
you're saying that they are embracing anti-skeuomorphism, is what you're
that they are. Well, I mean, maybe a couple years behind Google or Apple, but they're doing it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, it's hard to describe over the radio, but Windows 10 just looks different than Windows 8 or Windows 7. It looks, things are a little bit bigger. They're a little, I don't know, to me they look a little bit more juvenile, but that's the design trends. A lot more iconography as opposed to realistic stuff. That's the skeuomorphism or the anti-skeuomorphism going on. And they're working on stuff. I mean, they're still working on it. In the current build, which is build 10041, they have the ugliest recycle bin icon you've ever seen in your life. I think they put it out there just to see how many people would complain. It's one of those things they're going to change in the final release. And they're still moving things around. Where's the connections panel? Is it over here or is it over there? And they're moving things from one side of the screen to the next. So they're still working on that. But they're still missing some major components, the chief of which is the new web browser, which they don't even have a name for yet, codenamed Spartan, which is going to replace Internet Explorer. And as of the latest build, which is about a week and a half, 2 weeks old now, they don't have the new web browser in it yet. So that's kind of the biggest missing piece at this point in time.
What do you expect to see? This is actually good. What do you expect to see from Spartan when it does finally release?
Well, just in terms of look and feel, it looks like the rest of Windows 10. It doesn't look like an old app ported over. It's got the flat design, the lack of Chrome on the window, and all that. So in terms of look and feel, it's going to look more of a piece with Windows 10 than Internet Explorer does. It's got a different rendering engine, so it should render a lot faster. Should be a faster browser. All things said and done, should be a better, more compatible browser with most web pages today. It also has a reading mode, where you can kind of mark pages for reading and click into reading mode, and it'll look more like an ebook online than a web page. So it does away with all the Chrome in reading mode. To me, the big thing I'm looking forward to, though, is the integration with Cortana. Now, Cortana is the thing that's kind of like Siri. It's the virtual assistant. That's another new feature in Windows 10, so that you can type a query or speak into your microphone, and instead of saying "Ask Siri," you ask Cortana. You say, "Hey, Cortana, how far is it to the moon?" or whatever, and that's baked into the operating system. Well, it's also going to be baked into the Spartan web browser. So if you're on a web page and it thinks, based on your past behavior, that there's some additional information you want, let's say that you're reading a web page about San Diego, it might automatically pop up a little panel off to the side with some facts and figures about San Diego, today's temperature, weather forecast, that sort of thing. You can right-click on a word within a web page and have it ask Cortana for more information about that word, whether it's a definition or whatever. And you can even do Cortana searches from within the browser. So, you're reading a web page and something piques your interest, there's a little Cortana box up at the top of the browser. You can type, the next query in, and it'll appear in a little pane off to the right side of the browser. And that looks pretty cool. The reading mode and all that other stuff, I'm not sure how many people will use this. The Cortana integration could be something quite useful.
I want to know what will happen if you call Cortana Siri.
I'll have to try that. I haven't tried that yet.
Will she get insulted, or?
She'll come in with some kind of fake, almost British accent and be like, "Oh, sorry, I can't do that for you."
Or vice versa, for that matter. You could probably try it with Siri. Testing Cortana at this point in time in the current build's a little frustrating because they don't have all the intelligence baked into it yet. The version of Cortana that's currently available on Windows Phone has everything baked in. This one's a couple steps behind. I mean, they're getting to it in future builds, but you kind of just get a sense of the skeleton of what's going to be there in the final build right now. I honestly, on a computer, I'm not sure how useful the Cortana stuff is, except I kind of like the idea of having it in the web browser, because that's where I'm asking questions. That's where I want to know the next thing, and it kind of makes sense. In the course of the regular operating system, I mean, if I'm searching anything, I'm searching for files on my hard disk, and I'm not sure Cortana is going to help me hold. I mean, it's going to do it, but I'm not sure why I need Cortana to do that.
So in other words, you think that Cortana has her place. In other words, you don't think that it makes sense to in normal computing, day-to-day computing, that we need voice recognition to do something?
Well, I'm not sure you don't need it. It's just I'm not sure a lot of people are going to use it that way. Let's put it that way.
That's interesting you mentioned that, because again, do you think that might be an element of people who, such as us, who are used to doing things one way and we don't really want to, as opposed to, let's say, a new person coming to the computer the first time and saying, "Oh, you mean I can just ask the computer to do that?" I mean, do you think that's something that we're kind of entrenched in, maybe?
I am reminded of a scene in Star Trek. Was it Star Trek V, the one with the whales in it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where they go back in time and Scotty's in some military complex or something, and they put him down in front of a computer to ask him a question. So he says, "Computer." Computer said, "No, no, no," and they point to the mouse. So he picks up the mouse and talks into it like a microphone. So yeah, it may be what you're used to, I suppose. It just seems to me that, at least in current use, being able to talk into your phone to ask a question makes sense for a lot of people, because we talk into our phone. I mean, that's just established behavior. I'm not sure we're that used to talking into our computer. I mean, my own personal use of Cortana, I just type into it. I go, yeah, I could say, "Hey, Cortana," but I'm working. I don't want to, people in the coffee shop to hear me talking to my computer. I'll just type into the box, and it works just the same.
Yeah, but again, see, I think of this, for example, the scenario. For example, let's say I'm doing something and I'm working on a search or having. And as I'm typing something, I think, oh, I need to do a search, so I can just, while I'm typing, "Hey, Cortana, find me X, Y, and Z," and then I continue typing my article, and it doesn't disrupt my flow, and then the answer comes up, or she speaks to it, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. You can again use the voice commands to set reminders and leave notes and that sort. The same as you can with Siri on the phone. You can kind of do the same stuff.
So do you think again that is reminiscent of how people were used to doing things, as opposed to maybe new people would be more inclined to use it?
Perhaps. Again, we're used to sitting down in front of a computer and typing. We're used to sitting down in front of a tablet and tapping. We're used to sitting down in front of a phone and either talking or tapping also. So, yeah, I think it is how we're used to using a certain type of device.
But then again, here's another observation from my part. When I text, and I'm texting more frequently than I used to, because, quite frankly, I'm getting a lot more texts than phone calls, and I find myself, instead of tapping or using the predictive keyboard, I find it easier just to hit the little microphone and just speak what it is I'm going to text, and watch it appear and then send it, rather than going and doing it that way. So again, though, maybe that's because I'm not a frequent texter, and so I figured, okay, here's something new. I can just speak it, and it'll do it for me. It saves me a lot of typing.
Yeah, and it could be just what you're used to. It could be generational. I've got a friend who just turned 31, which is close to half my age, and he does that a lot. He speaks his text in as opposed to typing them. Me, it's a privacy thing. If I'm out and about, I mean, maybe I'd do that if I were in my car, but if I'm out and about and there's people around me who can hear me, I'd rather text than speak, because it's more private. Nobody has to hear what the dumb thing that I'm texting to somebody else.
Well, I watch Ben. You say generation, but I watch Ben. Ben never speaks to his computer. He always his smartphone. He's always tapping in, and he's
because you're not supposed to say those things in polite company.
Well, there you go. It's the privacy thing.
But even when he's by himself, you don't. You're in your room by yourself. You don't speak your text, right? You can type them in. But even
I can type on my phone pretty quickly, not as quickly as a keyboard, and I can type on my keyboard even quicker. Like there's really no reason to.
See, you say you're typing faster than you can speak?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it really, like, I haven't tested myself, but yeah, it'd be pretty close.
Do you use, and you don't use the predictive keyboard either, do you? Or do you use that?
Nope.
You don't use the predictive keyboard. Okay. Well,
But it doesn't disprove anything you guys are saying. It's, again, what are you used to? And for me, it's typing.
okay. I think that could be it. I don't think it's general. I think it's just what you're used to. So I think if you're new or to it, you might speak the text rather than type it. I don't know.
All I know is my predictive keyboard comes up with some of the weirdest words I've ever heard in the world. I don't know where it predicts from, and I don't know if that's the difference between the Android technology and the iPhone technology. But I mean, it's off in left field most of the time on the predictive thing.
You see, on the predictive on the iPhone, and not only that, it kind of learns as you go along too. I've been using the predictive keyboard more and more because the more I use it, the more accurate it becomes. You know, as in time, it's learning. You know what I'm doing. So 9 times out of 10, I can get most all of the words as I start to type. You know, hitting an occasional letter here or there. But if you look at it, chances are the next word you want to say is already waiting for you. Just tap the word. You know?
Well, mine must be a slow learner, or I'm a bad teacher. One of the two. Maybe I'm just not that predictable.
I think that's also like I have it up on my keyboard, and maybe I just use so many words and my vocabulary is just so broad, it never has the proper word that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Could be. All right. Well, listen.
Although I have sent many a message by just using the predictive keyboard, and it's like, yes, I would like to Wednesday, Thursday, 8, 9, 4, and like it like. They never form sentences, though, you know.
Well, but of course you don't use leet either. You just type the words in, right? So I don't know. All right, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to take a little break here. Michael Miller is our guest for the entire hour. He'll be with us to the end of the show. If you have a comment or question or suggestion, 347-884-8881. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. We're going to have yet another news test bulletin review, a brand new one from Marty Winston. Looking forward to that. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. We will be right back. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Come on in. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time Kendall Howard racks. We've all seen equipment racks. We got in some short ones from Kendall Howard with some special features and a treasure chest of accessory products. But this review needs to start with a U. racks are wide at a fixed width, usually 19 inches, some 23, some other widths. The height of the rack itself, and the equipment it holds are defined as multiples of 1U, which is 1 3/4 inches. Most full-height 6-foot racks are 42U. So if we wanted to mount our Pioneer receiver on a rack-mounted shelf or a tray, for example, its 6.6-inch height would consume a 4U or 7-inch rack height. As it happens, there's a better answer for that. We'll get there in a few seconds. The coolest part of what we got is a pair of 8U high pivot frame wall mount racks. The ears that are on gear are screwed to the rack frame just like any other, but when it's time to reach around to the back for working with connectors, 2 side pulls release the rack to pivot down 90 degrees like an oven door. The back of everything is sunny side up, so you can do what you need to do, then swing it all back up into place. Got ear-free gear you need right here? A non-pivoting 1U extension can attach to the bottom or top of the rack frame. Attach a shelf to that extension for a piece that won't slide out when the rest pivots down. Even better, it's topless, so a 1U shelf at the top of the rack can hold that 4U Pioneer receiver just fine with no danger of it toppling. Bottom line, Kendall Howard Innovative Rack Solutions beat the heck out of the wobbly stacks most of us endure. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. I'll be honest with you, Marty Winston, you're an awesome person, but I might have tuned that one out. And it was a brand new one from Marty Winston. I'll be sure to catch it throughout the rest of this week. We will be having the same ones second hour every day this week, and we'll get new ones next week. But unfortunately, I missed it tonight, so I'll keep an ear out next time. But right now, we're talking to Michael Miller here, and focusing on Windows 10, some of the other features, where are they doing right, where are they doing wrong. I'm not sure if this is too recent for you to talk about, if you had seen it, but apparently today they released Project Spartan, the new browser coming out. They released a test version of the browser for the first time.
Yep, while we were on the break, I just found that same story. Yeah, apparently sometime today, to the fast rung of testers, which I'm on, they made available the new build. It's a couple digits higher than the one they released last week, which does have Spartan activated in it. So that will be something I will be downloading and playing with tomorrow to see how she works. I mean, we've seen leaked pictures of it before, so I mean, there's not going to be any surprises in it, but just getting our hands on it will be a cool thing.
So, and I guess...
Sorry. I had the dog, Terry was in the way. Go ahead.
Weird. Yeah, no, I was just wondering, like, is this their... Like, they've said wholeheartedly, this is our replacement to Internet Explorer. We're done with that entire franchise, and we're moving on in a hopefully better direction, right?
Are you happy about that, Mike? I mean, you hated Explorer too, right?
Well, I mean, most people have, other than the people who never change, most tech-savvy people abandoned Internet Explorer years ago. So who's using it now? People who get a new PC and Internet Explorer's there, they don't know enough or aren't savvy enough or don't care enough to change it. So yeah, having a more robust, more up-to-date browser is a good thing. It's unclear, however, just how abandoned Internet Explorer will be. I've heard some reports that Windows 10 will actually ship with both. I've heard more recent reports that say, well, it'll actually officially ship with Spartan, but you'll still be able to get Internet Explorer from the Windows Store or wherever. So, for whatever reason you need, for compatibility reasons, whatever reason, you'll still be able to get it. So, I don't think Internet Explorer is going away. And we know how things. I mean, people are still using Windows XP, so old things stay around forever these days. But obviously, people are going to be, very, very much steered in the direction of Spartan, which whatever they end up calling it. I mean, they still don't have a name for the darn thing. Whether they just say, oh, we'll just call it Spartan, or they call it, Internet, Defender or whatever. I don't know what they're going to call it. They don't know what they're going to call it. But it'll be the browser that comes up, and with the new features on, again, the look and the fit and feel with Windows 10, the integration of Cortana. There's some notation modes in it. which I don't think anybody ever uses. There's a reading mode, which some people will use. But mainly it's just, a better browser. So, and we all like that sort of thing. Now, whether it be better than Chrome or not, or better than Firefox, that will be for the public to decide.
Now, out of curiosity, which browser? I know Ben uses Chrome, okay, and I started using Chrome because Ben pointed out a feature which I thought was wonderful, and they didn't have it in the Firefox at the time. Although now I believe they now have it in Firefox. But any tab that you would open, I opened like 7 or 8 tabs at once, and if something starts playing audio, I didn't know which tab it was. I had to shut them all down at once because I was on the air. Couldn't have that happening. Chrome would put a little speaker in the tab, and it would indicate, oh, that's a tab that's playing, and so you need either, you can go right to the tab and identify it. I think Firefox, though, no, actually has that now. The justification for going to Chrome, maybe I can go back to Firefox. I don't know. But which browser do you use, and why do you use it?
I've used Chrome for years. I write a lot of books about Google, so Chrome. You got to write about Chrome, so and I like it. It's a good browser. I never really jumped on the Firefox bandwagon. Nothing against it. I just was always on Chrome first. What I like about it now, relatively recent feature, is the fact that it syncs everything so well in between different computers. When you're logged into your Google account, if I'm got some certain tabs up on my home PC, well, I can see them all on my notebook PC also. I can see it on my Android phone, which is using the Chrome browser. So I've got the same history, I've got the same bookmarks, everything is up there. And I like that cloud-based cross-device compatibility.
That has saved my bacon this time because I'm currently traveling all up and down the East Coast, and I did not bring I did not bring a laptop, I did not bring a tablet, I did not definitely didn't bring my desktop. And I'm using computers here and there, but no matter what, every computer I use, if I just pull up Chrome, log into my account, it's just like it's my computer. It doesn't matter where I'm at. So it's saving my bacon for the traveler.
Yeah, well, this is, one of the nice features of cloud computing. I wrote a book, my first book about cloud computing is, my word, it's got to be at least 10, 12 years ago. And at the time, I was like, what is this cloud computing thing, and why would people use it, and is it dangerous, and will it eat my children? And that was 12 years ago because we didn't know any better. Well, and you talk about the benefits. Well, you can access your files from anywhere, and blah, 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 blah. But the fact that you can essentially take your profile anywhere with cloud computing, to me, is one of the biggest benefits of it. As you said, it doesn't matter whether I'm using my desktop, my laptop, my Chromebook, my Android phone, whatever, it's the same. And I can call it the same history, the same bookmarks, the same customization, the same themes, and it's wonderful. It's moved from a device-centric model, which is what we used to have, to a user-centric or a document-centric model when we're talking about other types of cloud computing. So I think that's good. Who cares what device you have? Your profile follows you around.
Well, here's the thing. The other thing I have to use Chrome is because, as you know, we use Google Hangouts, and guess what you can't use on Firefox? You have to use Chrome with Google Hangouts because it is a Google product, and Google is not evidently says nope, you can't do that. I don't know if they do it intentionally, or if Mozilla just can't do it, or if it's a licensed product. I'm not sure exactly why you can't use Hangouts on Mozilla or Firefox.
I don't know why. It's just a web page. It's just a stream, right? Why wouldn't it work?
Evidently, it's more. There's more to it than that because when you try to use Google Hangouts on Firefox, it says it's not supported in this browser.
Interesting. Now, and I've never tried it. Do Hangouts work on Internet Explorer, don't they?
I'm not sure. I don't know because I don't have Internet Explorer on a Mac.
No, I know they do because I've written about them, so I know they do. So Firefox is an anomaly there.
Well, here's another anomaly. When I want to watch, when I want to watch an Apple keynote, that they just had one recently.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have to use Safari if you try.
Oh God!
If you use Safari, if you use Firefox or you use Chrome, it says I'm sorry, it's not supported in this browser. You have to watch it using Safari.
Does anybody outside the Apple ecosphere echo chamber use Safari? I mean, you use it on your iPhone because it's there. I presume if you got a Mac, that Safari is there also. If
You have Chrome. You have Chrome on your iPhone. They do have Chrome.
I can't feel like I can't help but feel like the numbers of people that would use Safari would be equal to the number of people who use Opera, if not for the fact that Apple is behind them.
Yeah.
Or like that it is Apple.
It's an Apple browser, and evidently to watch the Apple keynote, you have to use Safari.
Well, see, I'm still waiting for Cello to come back. Anybody remember Cello as a web browser?
Nope.
This was pre-Mosaic.
Oh, yeah, you're really going back. Okay.
Yeah, and Mosaic, of course, was Netscape, which became Firefox sort of over the years. But yeah, I actually wrote my first internet book, which was back in '94, I think it was I wrote it on the Cello browser.
Are we feeling old yet? Good grief.
Well, just the way things changed. When I wrote that book, this was, when people are saying www, what? Just to find examples of websites to use in the book, I had to look long and hard to find decent ones.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of had to choose from university websites. There wasn't a whole lot of commercial websites available at that point in time. Now that changed literally within a couple of years, but it was a different world back then. Just to try and find something that wasn't just a bunch of text on a page was difficult.
There was Sea Monkey too. That was another one too. Sea Monkey.
But I remember when Internet Explorer. I mean, talking about Internet Explorer. I mean, it's been around now for my word, not quite 20 years, but darn close to it. It was the underdog. I mean, when it came out, Netscape Navigator, as the proper name, was the browser, because that came out of Mosaic, which was, probably the first successful browser. Mm-hmm. And Internet Explorer was the underdog. And, if you root for the underdog, at that point in time, 96 or so, you were rooting for Microsoft.
Yeah, but
the underdog browser.
But Microsoft started playing all those the monopoly kind of games,
yeah, of course they did. They were the monopoly. Why not do that? What did they do? They included Internet Explorer with the operating system. Well, now was that an unfair thing to do? I mean, that was kind of unusual back then, because back then the operating system was basically just the operating system. You didn't get all the doodads and gigaws with it that you get today. Today the operating system has word processors built in and photo editors built in, and I mean, it's more than an operating system. So I mean, today, Apple includes Safari as part of their operating system, right?
Yeah.
How is that any different from what Microsoft did 20 years ago?
No, nothing except I don't think Microsoft. Well, yeah, I mean, even with Explorer, there were so many things that if you tried to use a different browser other than Explorer, especially bank websites, it wouldn't work. Because they were using the ActiveX component in Internet Explorer, and they would say, sorry, you have to use Explorer. You can't use Firefox. I don't think that exists today anymore, really. You can go to most any banking.
That's like HTTP or HTTPS or whatever the secure things now.
Yeah, or all the HTML5 browsers now.
Yeah.
So, but it used to be that way. And that wasn't the fault of Microsoft, though. That was the companies or the websites, the banking websites that you would go to. They weren't modernized. They were stuck in that trench. But finally, I guess things moved on. They realized, no, we just can't do that. We have to support all these browsers. And that was the intent of the internet. It was supposed to be platform independent, software independent, right? You're supposed to go anywhere on the internet regarding of what computer you had and be able to do something.
Yeah, but now Apple won't let you watch their little get-togethers unless you're running Safari. So how far have we come in the past 20 years then?
It's like 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards.
Yeah. Hey, an interesting. We haven't even talked about this.
What?
There's an interesting thing happening with cloud computing and browsers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Are you guys aware of? It's currently in testing, the cloud-based. And this is really a misnomer, but let's call it the cloud-based version of Adobe Photoshop.
Okay, I know of it, but I have not been using it. I still use the computer-based version.
Right. Well, and I'm not talking about what they call Creative Cloud, which is still kind of software based, but they're working on testing right now a version of Photoshop which runs at least superficially like Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets does. That you think there's nothing installed on your machine, and you use it over the web in your web browser. So that if you're using a Chromebook, for example, I'm writing about this now in the Chromebook book, that you could now use Photoshop in Chromebook because you don't have any software to install. But what's interesting about this is it's really not a cloud-based app. It's a streaming app. That is, the app itself resides actually on Google servers. And what you see on your computer screen is not a software interface, but a video of what you're working on. And it takes the signals from your mouse, from your keyboard, whatever your input device is, feeds that to the servers in real time, makes the changes on the document there, and then it streams you a video, essentially, of what you're working on. So it looks like you're working on an app, but you're really watching and manipulating a streaming video. It's kind of fascinating, the technology behind it.
We just had a company on, I think it was Friday, that uses that same technology.
Which one?
They're kind of like a mix of I'll find it. I'll find it. Go ahead.
Okay. It wasn't Spalix. No, I'm just trying. I mean TLDR. It was a TLDR.
No, I'll find it. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Well, while Ben probes his computer history on whatever computer he's using right now, the benefit of this sort of thing is that you really don't need much in the way of hardware to do this. I mean, even if you're using a traditional cloud-based app, it's weird to say that it's traditional cloud-based stuff, like Google Docs or Office Online, I mean, you still have to have some hardware power to use the darn thing, right? Well, with this, essentially, if you can play Netflix, you can use Photoshop. And this is the full version of Photoshop. It's not the Photoshop Elements or Photoshop Express. It's the whole shebang, which generally takes a lot of horsepower to run anyway, right? Yeah. But all the horsepower is up there on Google servers. I mean, all you need is to be able to register mouse clicks and keyboard clicks and send them upstream and then be able to receive streaming video, and you can essentially use the full version of Photoshop.
Would you get any kind of lag though, or something like that? I would,
Well, I suppose you could. I don't know how well that would work on a satellite internet connection. I mean, you definitely have a noticeable lag. But if you think about it, the video that you're getting is not necessarily a high bit rate, right?
Yeah.
Because there's not stuff moving around your screen. I mean, yeah, you move your mouse cursor, you move this here, but that's a relatively small movement compared to watching a high definition movie on Netflix.
That's true.
The company I was thinking of was Parallels Access, where they showcase the same kind of technology.
Oh yeah, well Parallels they are mostly known for the desktop, but they do have their Access now, which I've been playing around with, by the way, for the past week, over the weekend, and that's a remarkable program because you can control your computer remotely with any device or another computer and see everything on there.
Yeah. But it's the same kind of technology that we're talking about right now, except instead of your computer, it's a program that is running on Google servers, and you're just connecting through it through the same kind of technology.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I thought it was.
I just don't want people to think that this technology is coming out of left field and it's just all mumbo jumbo and magic. No, we've seen this technology before, and it's cool that Google is utilizing it. So, yes.
Okay.
And you think about it, really, it's from the user's perspective, it decreases your hardware load, right? Again, you can run it on a Chromebook, which has, not a whole lot of memory, not a whole lot of storage. You can run it on a Chromebook just fine. You can run it on any browser, for that matter, just fine. Now, the real heavy lifting takes place on the server end, where all this is hosted, and obviously there's some technology, mumbo jumbo going on up there to make that happen. But in terms of what's, basically it's streaming video and uploading mouse clicks. How much simpler can you get? I mean, you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty simple, isn't it?
Why did it take them so long to do it then?
Because the heavy lifting on the other side, I think probably is to make that all work. But at least in theory, it sounds like, oh, I can understand that. It's not that in terms of conceptualizing it, it's not that complicated a thing to think of in your mind.
It seems to me like we keep moving toward shifting this paradigm to this, where we're doing everything in the cloud, less and less in here. But do you think that we're ever going to let go? Do you think people can say, no, I want this stuff on my computer, and I don't want
to? We're moving slowly towards that model. I mean, streaming music, streaming video, using Google Docs or Office Online. Now this Photoshop thing. I mean, and of course all the online storage now. We're moving towards that model.
What about Office 365? I mean, that's in the model there too, isn't it?
Well, Office 365 is still software based. It's just updated over the cloud when necessary. But you're still installing software on your computer.
Okay.
Same thing with the current Adobe Photoshop Creative, whatever they call it, Creative Suite, Creative Cloud, CC. That's it. It's got the word cloud in the title, but it's still software on your PC. Now, it's software that connects to the mothership and updates itself automatically, but it is still software, unlike Google Docs, which is not.
Yeah, Google Docs is completely in the
Yeah, but you think about it, the more stuff that goes into the cloud, well, this plays on what we were talking about earlier. You don't have to carry your software along with you. You don't have to install 3 different versions of it on 3 different devices. Wherever you go, you just fire up your software, log into your account, and you get your software. You get your documents. You get whatever you're working on. It doesn't matter whether you're on your phone, your tablet, your Chromebook, your, whatever, your Apple, Windows. It's the same. The device almost becomes irrelevant at that point in time.
Well, I still use when I use Google Drive. I can do everything in the cloud, but at the same time, I can tell it to open a window, and the document is also on my hard drive. I have it both. You can have it in the cloud, and you have a copy, and it makes a copy on your hard drive. I'm talking about Google Drive now.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with Microsoft OneDrive. But Craig, as I can see from looking at your picture on screen, you are a belt and suspenders guy. I'm a belt and suspenders and paper clips. I do triple storage myself because I don't trust anything. I've been burned enough over the years. But more and more as the cloud-based stuff becomes proven reliable, and as Wi-Fi connection becomes ubiquitous, it doesn't matter where you're at. Well, out there in the cloud's fine. Why have it on your PC?
Yeah, I guess it does.
Now, I think it's different when you're talking mission-critical stuff, businesses, books. I'm not going to put my books up there only on the cloud while I'm writing them. Maybe when I'm done writing them, but not while I'm writing them. And I'm sure you've got mission-critical stuff too. But for day-to-day stuff, it's up there. It's cheap. It's free in a lot of cases, and it works. And that's the thing that has taken time for us to come to grips with. Is hey, it actually does work. And we're comfortable with it, and there's been very few traumatic disasters resulting from it. So, we're getting comfortable with it.
Yep, exactly. Well, I don't know if we have time to. We really don't have the time to talk. I was going to talk about the Internet of Things, unless you can tell us about that in about 2 minutes.
It's an internet about things, where things are connected to other things, and they do things, and there's things involved. That's it, the Internet of Things. You want to know more? Read my book when it comes out in a couple of days, which is called Imaginatively Enough. I mean, we worked long and hard on this title. We call it, the book is called The Internet of Things. So try to remember, if you're looking about the Internet of Things, look for a book that's titled The Internet of Things, and that'll be the one to buy.
At least it will come up easily in search engines.
I thought it was going to be the Internet of Things for seniors.
Well, the Internet of Things ends up being for everybody, but or will be over time. It'll take time for that to become implemented also.
You think you might write an Internet of Things for seniors? You're on a roll, it could be.
This is one where I wish I would have gotten free merchandise from everybody, because I'm talking about everything from smart TVs to smart thermostats to drone aircraft and, of course, military robots. And I would really love a military robot.
Yeah. What would you do with it?
Drones are a dime a dozen, but I want the hardened battle armor stuff that I can wear and be like the Hulk out there, Iron Man or whoever.
Who doesn't need a nice exoskeleton or Predator drone?
There you go. There you go.
Boys' wish list.
Yeah, the Predator drone would be kind of cool. Exactly. Well, we're pretty much out of time. Mike, again, tell us when are your book? What's on your schedule? What's coming up next week?
You guys should be seeing the Internet of Things in bookstores any day now. In fact, I think the ebook version is already available. When it becomes available, just check my website, millerwriter.com, and the new books are always listed up there first.
And
or second. It depends on how slow I am.
And we have a link to millerwriter.com. Just go to our correspondence page, and you can see it there as well. And you can read it. But now, who publishes it? Who's your publisher for this?
On that book is Q Publishing. I do a lot of writing for Q. That's QUE, and just as in Q without the UE on the end of it.
And they can find it on Amazon, I assume?
Yep, and then fine bookstores everywhere, if there are in fact still fine bookstores everywhere.
Yeah, really. What's the book and mortar stores are just dropping like flies.
Yeah, they closed down the Barnes and Noble nearest to me up here in Burnsville, Minnesota. So now I have to drive an extra mile the other direction to find another Barnes and Noble now. So
yeah. Oh well. So there it is. Again, you can check it out at millerwriter.com or go to computeramerica.com. We have a link to Mike. Mike, hey, listen, always a pleasure, and you will be back with us on in the groove again as well in April. You'll be on April the 27th, which is the last Monday of the month now. Mike has switched to his new schedule, so at the last Monday of every month now, from the last Friday, last Monday, that's when you'll see
90 seconds.
You guys are just trying to make society collapse. I don't know what your end goal is here.
Now, coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have Mega, and on the show, we're going to have the company's CEO. They talk about Mega and Mega Chat, and these.
You may remember Mega being very big in the news around 2014 when Kim.com was still the CEO.
Yes.
And
60 seconds.
Hubbub. So this is the new rebranded Mega and everything that they're offering.
Right. And then in hour 2, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They're still the official optimization software of Computer America. And thank you so much for being with us here on our Monday night. Mike is going to stay with us right at the end for our little after show video that we do. And if you're watching us, hopefully you'll stay with us as well. So that wraps it up, and we'll see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good day, everyone.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, and again, thanks, Mike, for being with us here tonight.
always good to be with you guys.
And we'll see you next month, the last Monday of the month. Okay?
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good night.